First of all, as I said after the game, but just can't thank the people that hung around and watched that comeback. Um, just the last two home games, the Oklahoma game and the West Virginia game, we're sorry and we're sad that we were not able to finish those games. But I think to see the way that the student section, the band, the fans, our family and friends, the way they stood and cheered for just the guts and the fight of the team, I think that encourages our players. And if there's anything that just tells me, hey, this is why this is such a great place, it would be that. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Some of our coaches that have been in the NFL, we've just never seen what we've seen, and that's what makes Baylor such a special place. It makes us want to fight so much more to bring a victory to the fans and to the students and to all the people that care so much about Baylor. So for that, I would say thank you. Thought our team competed really, really hard at the end of the game. I think the takeaway for us is not to give up 3 scores on 3 straight possessions, which were really just a matter of a lack of hope. And I think we saw that at Oklahoma State. We saw it this past week. And these kids are pushing so hard, they're fighting so hard that when things start to go down a bad path, we lose a little bit of hope. But I think you saw the character of our team, that they fought back. And so now the key is to put together a 60-minute ball game and to not give up explosive plays on defense and to be a little bit more efficient on offense. I'm proud of the way our offense is not turning the ball over, but we have to run the football, especially down in the red zone. And those are the things that are holding us back from being the team that we can be, and we're working hard to correct those as we move forward. And as we move forward this week, obviously it's an exciting week for us to play, the University of Texas coming up from Austin, and they're a great team, extremely talented, great coaches, and we know the challenge that lays in front of us. But I know our kids are excited. As I told them, I don't know if there's a more mentally tough team in the country because they come back every Monday and they get on the line and they run their half-gassers and they work and they keep coming back each week. And as a result, they're getting better. And while it doesn't show on the record, a lot of guys are getting a lot better. And there's good stories everywhere. We just have to put it all together. And so it would be a heck of a week to do that. They have special players, and we have to play our best to have a chance. I know you guys are going to ask me about the quarterback situation. We'll go out to practice today, but if we play today, I'd put Zach out there first and have Charlie ready. I just think it's, these times Zach's done too much. He led that comeback against Oklahoma, and I think it's too quick to say, hey, Charlie played great, and Charlie needs to be ready to play. But I don't want to have a quick trigger on our quarterback. I think Zach got into that ball game, wasn't feeling real well, and just pressed a little bit too much at times and didn't have much help. And I thought as we got going in the second half and as guys started to have a little bit more confidence as we got back in there, guys started making plays they didn't make in the first half. So I have the utmost confidence in Zach. I have the utmost confidence in Charlie, just like I have a lot of confidence in Treston Ebner and Terrence Williams and all those other kids. And so we're going to see if we can put it all together this week and move forward versus a great Texas Longhorn team. So with that, I'll see what questions you guys have.
Matt, is there any chance, just depending on the game situation, where both of those QBs could play?
Well, I think we've played both quarterbacks. We've tried to play both quarterbacks really since the Kansas State game, and so now there might have been smaller roles for Charlie, but we know Charlie's a gamer, and we had him ready to punt last week. So, we've done that the last 4 games. So I don't know why this would be different. We would probably have a package for Charlie ready to go. And again, this is Monday. We were up all night working, and we'll be up all day today. So we'll see kind of where that leads. I think the biggest thing is this is such a hard defense to prepare for that you just can't be sort of, wanting with what you want to do. Hey, let's throw this in, let's throw that in. I mean, they're so hard to attack schematically and talent-wise that we have to be really, sharp in the way we decide to do it. So we'll see if we can put some things together that fit Zach, and if there's something that fits Charlie, we'll put him in there and see what happens.
What are the type of challenges that Texas does bring to the table?
Well, again, they have just elite players. They have tremendous talent. The receivers are as fast as anybody we've seen. They have 2 great quarterbacks. I know Sam is, banged up a little bit right now, but, watch Shane, he can really play, and Hurd can play. So they've got great players across the board, great skill. And then defensively, they have a tremendous defensive line, even the nose tackle's as good as we've seen Puna Ford. So they have great players, and I think Todd Orlando on defense does a great job of really taking away what you do well and attacking you from all areas. So you have to be ready for the blitz. They're number 1 in the conference right now in third down. They get off the field better than anybody. So you take great players and a great scheme, and then they have a toughness about them. So it'll be a real challenge for our offense. And really third down is where it comes, and trying to find a way to run the football is where that comes. And then defensively, again, they get the ball. For us, they get the ball out in the perimeter, and those guys can go. So there's great players and a great scheme to go along with it.
When you guys played in the fourth quarter, what type of momentum does that create for you guys going into not only this game, but moving forward?
You hope some, I mean, and I think the thing is the thing I'm excited about is even the last two first quarters, we've come out and we've been ready to play, and we've played a little bit better than, we had previously. I mean, it's like 21-7 against Oklahoma. It was whatever it was. But even this past game, I mean, I know they went down, they scored a field goal on the first drive. But, we moved the football. We just weren't able to kind of punch it in. But it was 7-3. Then it was, I'm not great with remembering what everything was. But, I mean, it's kind of a back-and-forth game the first quarter. And then it's just that second quarter, end of the half, we get a little bit tired. We get a little bit whatever. And, we had the ball with a chance to go down and take the lead going into halftime, and that flipped on us quick. So, but you're hopeful that our players, they'll just begin to recognize the mindset that was present in the fourth quarter, and was that there the whole game. And if we just have that mindset the whole game, like, bad things are going to happen, good things are going to happen. So let's go out there and let's expect good things and deal with bad things. And that's what I say to myself the whole game. I say good things are going to happen, good things are going to happen, because that's how you have to think to get through these games. And as we continue to do that, and we're doing that better than we were. As we continue to do that, we can go out and we can play even better.
Is this Texas defensive line the best one you faced all year?
I'm anxious to see. I usually say those things after the game. I have to kind of see them. We've faced some really good defensive lines. I go back to, probably the highest drafted kid that we're going to play against yet was the kid from UTSA, Davenport. I mean, every scout in here, he's a first or second rounder. I thought the guys at Duke were really, really good. Oklahoma has great D-line, Kansas. So we faced a lot of really good D-lines. But when you watch these guys, you see tremendous talent, and it's really everywhere, right? I mean, they have got 6'1" corners who can run. I mean, they've got real skill. I mean, they've recruited. You can tell they've recruited really well for a while. I played University of Texas in 1996 when I was a player. They had great players then. So I mean, they've done a great job. And again, it's a great scheme. I don't want to minimize what Coach Orlando does. He does a great job of taking away what you do.
Matt, the tight ends only have 2 catches all season. Was the expectation that they would be a bigger part of the passing attack?
Yeah, you'd like to, and I know we took 3 or 4 shots at Ish in the game. Even going back to the last play of the last game, threw a corner out to Ish, and where he wasn't able to kind of come down with it, and then we took a shot in the red zone to him, and took another shot in the red zone to him. So we're trying to utilize his size and athleticism, but it just hasn't quite clicked yet. And when Solomon was in there, he was, he spent when Feuerbacher was out with the hand and Ish was out, Rob played O-line all fall camp, so we really weren't going to try to get the ball to him. But yeah, we'd like to. We hit Feuerbacher against Oklahoma State once he got the cast off for a little bit of a play, but it hasn't really clicked that way. And so when we've had to go throw the ball, we've put 4 wides on the field, and that changes a little bit now with RJ being out. We have to sort of figure out who that person's going to be. So we'll continue to try to bring Ish along because he does have ball skills. But yeah, we just weren't able to try to get the ball to him, recognizing he could be a threat for us, but haven't been able to make that click.
He does have good catch the ball well.
Yes, sir. Ish has, he's got 7-foot wingspan. He can kind of go up and catch the ball. I think the big thing has been all of them have been like contact oriented. He's running down the middle of the field and there's a guy on him, or he's going to catch the ball as he's getting hit. He hasn't been able to kind of bring those down yet, like a rebound in traffic.
Matt, does it change the defensive preparation in terms of their quarterback situation, or do you just go in there and prepare for UT's offense?
Yeah, I think you just go in and prepare for UT's offense. I mean, I don't know that we're not really in a position yet where we're sort of saying, hey, let's take this away, let's take that away. We're still just trying to eliminate the big passing plays, and so I think for us, it's more just getting ready for their offense. They do a really good job. Coach Beck, Coach Herman. We faced Coach Herman once when we were at Temple and he was at Houston. So we have to try to just do the best that we can to get our guys ready to play. So this week for us is much more about us and less about them and the things that they do. We've just got to continue on defense to get ourselves right, because when we're not turning guys loose for big plays, we play decent defense at times, but when we're turning guys loose, that's really more a factor of us than it is anybody else.
Matt, when you look at the Big 12 and what's going on in Ames right now, can you point to your guys and say, look, that's culture and process, and if you guys stick with this, we can get that? I mean, there's so many programs in the Big 12 that are the product of that right now.
Yeah, I think I don't think I have to sell our kids too much. I think they see what's happening. That's one of the benefits sometimes of playing young guys. When you're playing a bunch of juniors and seniors, they can lose hope quickly. Now, I've all year I've talked about how impressed I am with our seniors because they are leading the charge. But I think our young kids recognize, hey, I think they can look at look at Connor Martin. A lot of people have asked me about Connor Martin. It literally was like about 50% in preseason. I'm talking about from like I never kicked a field goal from outside the 20 in preseason because I wanted to keep his confidence up. And now he's just going out there. So I think they see like, hey, if you work really hard, guys get better. And they see Ebner hadn't taken a handoff since whatever. He had a great tailback in high school. He was the receiver. Now they see him making plays. So, but I do think when you see what Coach Campbell has done, and I kind of know that family of guys, right? The Mountain Union guys, Jason Candle, they bring a toughness. I mean, there's not a better coach defense in the league than Iowa State. And I don't mean to digress into Iowa State, but just we've had to watch them the last couple of weeks. So there's not a better coach defense, and there's they have a toughness to them. So, you can. It's proof that you can be spread out and still be tough. You can be physical, and they're doing it as well as anyone.
Coach, Lovett's not listed on the 2D. Is he available this week?
Yeah, he'll be available. I just, Taylor brings me those things, and it's, Terrence has been kind of our workhorse downhill guy. We weren't really able to get him going last week just because of the nature of the game. And then I thought Ebner, had played really well. So we'll have all those guys ready. I mean, we tried to use 3 backs last week just to take advantage of the 3-3. We had that inverted bone going, which is not really something we've done a lot. I don't know if we'll do it again, but we thought it would fit versus West Virginia. But we'll try to get all Jamichael. I mean, they're all base parts of what we're doing.
Matt, can you talk about what Treston gives to the running back core, and plus just how difficult that was for him to make the switch from receiver?
Well, I think the decision by Treston to go ahead and move shows the loyalty that he has, the person that he is. And so, he's as hardworking and tough and industrious a kid as there is. And, yes, sir. And so, I think the biggest thing for him has been, we knew he had great speed, we knew he had great hands, but he's got more and more comfortable. So even take apart the plays at the end of the game, and we cut a couple angle routes early and was running through contact and spinning off. And a little bit of that showed up against Oklahoma State. He one got called back for a hold, but it was a big play backed up. So we started seeing some of those things, and we've just been working with him. That's not high school. You can't just take the ball and run to the sideline, not run everyone every time. And so to see him be physical and to see him have contact was really, really good. He's been one of our third down backs, getting in there and blocking. So I just think it's credit to Jeff that's done a good job taking a receiver and teaching him how to play running back. But really, it's credit to Treston. He's just a football player, and whatever we need him, he's been willing to do. He runs down on kickoff. He runs down on punt. He just does all the jobs we ask him to do. He does.
Matt, just your freshmen in general, are you proud of how quickly they're trying to grow up for you?
Absolutely. And I don't know if we've, like even Gavin Holmes, we probably should have played him more sooner, but I think the bye week was really good for us. Like Gavin got out there and went from inside receiver to outside receiver, which is, for a freshman, is really hard. And he just went out there and did it. And he's a gamer. He's a football guy. And, sometimes we say, hey, let's get the ball to him. Now it's not, we're just saying, we had Platt. It was sort of, that was hard now. I mean, losing Chris Platt was a really big thing for us because they couldn't just take the whole field. Everyone's taking the whole field and they're just rolling to Mims. It's hard to get him the ball. But with Gavin opening it up now, hopefully we can make people play us straight up. And I thought that was really, really impressive by him to go out there and not blink. And, he just practices hard. He plays hard. The things I'm asking him to do don't seem foreign to him, and that makes it easy to coach him.
Maybe seeing some parallels between your program, maybe it's not something you really pay attention to, but your program in Texas, and that you guys have played some close games, you've lost some games that you thought you had a chance in, but you're kind of building towards something?
I don't know if anyone would compare what we're going through to anyone. I think what we're doing is unique. What I will say is, when you go through, when you have games, you get down to the wire and then you lose, you have one or two things. Either it empowers you and emboldens you and you get angry, you come back and play great the next week, or you are frustrated and start to lose hope. And our kids haven't really lost heart at all. They haven't really lost hope, so I'm proud of them. But I just think, just the things that we're going through, I mean, other people are probably going through similar things, but I think this is really a unique situation. And I said it after the game. I thanked these kids because not many kids could do what our players are doing. Not many kids could go through what our players are doing, and they're doing it in a classy way. They're doing it with all the heart that they have, and so I'm proud of them that, they, as I told them, I don't know if there's a more mentally tough team in the country, and I think I said it earlier, because they keep coming back. Now we have to go be mentally tough on Saturday. I mean, walking over here, and he told me it's going to be like 40 degrees on Saturday. I'm so fired up, so excited. But we'll see.
Was Ebner very highly sought?
Yes, sir. Ebner was pretty highly recruited coming out of Henderson High School. He and his tailback in high school, LaKendrick Van Zant. LaKendrick went to TCU, and Treston was committed elsewhere when we got here, and he's one of the kids that, you know, you look at his, well, he had Baylor stuff, you know, he wanted to come to Baylor and hadn't been recruited by Baylor, and then when we got here, we offered him, and, you know, his sister Tiana and his mom, I mean, they were on board, and so.
How did you ever get Brewer?
How do we get, well, I think the thing about Charlie is,
I mean, he's all UT.
yeah, well, I don't know, I don't know what was going on with all the other schools, but in the end, you know, one of the great things about Charlie Brewer and a couple of the other kids, you know, RJ Sneed, is I didn't meet them till they committed and came here and signed up for school, and I never met them until they moved into their dorm. I didn't go to Charlie Brewer's house. I didn't meet his family. I talked to him on the phone, which nowadays kids they don't like talking on the phone, they just want to text. And I had to talk to him on the phone. I think Sean Bell was great in that recruiting process. And, you know, the day he moved into the dorm, the first day of school, Charlie came over with his family and introduced himself to me. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you, this has never happened before, and it's awesome. It stinks, you know, sometimes you're going through it, but like, it's awesome to see. Like, I met RJ's mom, Dr. Sneed. I met her for the first time when he came to school. I mean, these are unique situations, but it just lets you know that all this, there's a purpose to all of it, and it's working out. And it was fun to see Charlie out there playing. It was fun to see, you know, Gavin and Treston. It was fun to see some of our older kids playing. I mean, DeMarco Artis and B.J. Thompson. I mean, they're all out there running around, and a lot of our sophomores and juniors. The thing that they're doing is, I mentioned Connor. They're getting better. They're getting better. Pooh Strickland, I didn't think Pooh was going to play, and Pooh said, "I'm going," you know. And so to see him get out there was good.
Well, in view of what you recruited and done this year, do you think your recruiting can be even better next year?
Well, yeah, I mean, the difference with our recruiting now is that we actually know the people, you know, and so we have relationships with them. That being said, I think there's a bunch of future pros in this first class. And one of the benefits is recruiting now has become, we offer kids when they're in the ninth grade. And you don't anymore see what a player looks like his senior year. And so what we decided was, we're not going to change that approach of, if we know a kid's good enough, we're going to offer him, we're going to commit him. And we had a ton of recruits here on Saturday. And to the fans, I thank you because they left saying, that's where I want to go to school after seeing the support. But we also want to go watch guys in their senior year and see if we can find some more, you know, gems like these guys. Because you know what? Some kids develop late. And that's really what I think we had a lot of success at Temple with. And I know that they had success here before with guys that really weren't super highly recruited that all of a sudden show up and they're great players. And so we're going to continue to try to do that. But I think our recruiting will be, I'm really happy with our recruiting. And I think it'll be really good this year.
Now, you talked about losing Chris Platt, R.J. Sneed now out. How difficult was that, particularly, you know, a freshman that seemed like he was coming?
Well, I just, you know, my heart aches for RJ. I mean, he's not a better kid from a better family. And so that's, you know, that's a painful, you know, when you break your leg, that's a painful one, and that's a surgical answer. And so, but RJ's built from the right cloth, and he will come back. So to us, what does it do to us? I mean, you know, just maybe we have to be in more tight ends. Maybe we have to use more running. We have to continue to try. The whole year has been sort of, it's like an NFL roster. Every week it's sort of like who's active this week, and then we've tried to play those guys. So I think like I said, when you had Chris and Denzel out there, it just sort of spread the field, and people had to now, and that Tony, you know, was much more open. Now you see, I think Tony's doing a good job of getting open right now. I think he's a bright spot. So we'll just have to continue to try to find guys. If Ish has to play more, if Feuerbacher plays more, you know, if we move a running back, we're just kind of having to figure all that out based upon not just who's even healthy, but hey, is Pooh healthy this week? Is Lovett healthy this week? So there's all those guys that are banged up that, you know, Pooh didn't practice yesterday. You know, we'll see if he can practice at some point this week. So, but, you know, it is what it is, and we'll just keep pushing through it.
Is there a chance Treston could go out to receiver some this week?
He could, but, you know, I hate to switch him again. You know, an older guy could probably do that, but he was never, you know, foundationally in our receiver. The minute he got here, like we went through the summer and we recognized that Terrence was out and we had Jermichael and Lovett, and that was it. And we said, hey, we need you to move to running back. And, you know, early in the year we were playing with Drew Dixon, a freshman, you know, who I thought had some good runs against Duke, and then he got hurt. So if this was maybe next year, I'd move Treston, but I don't know that Treston can move right now.
How did you get Lovett here? Wasn't Lovett from far away?
Yes, I begged him. I begged Lovett to come. No, you know, John Lovett was a kid that I had in camp at Temple. He's from South New Jersey. That when he was a sophomore, and we knew right then he was good. And we just weren't going to get him at Temple. He had too many offers. He was too big. He was going to probably go play in the Big Ten or the SEC. But we had a relationship with him, And Francis Brown, does a great job. And his record of the kids he recruited in South Jersey, they know, like, hey, if you go play for Francis, he's going to take care of you. He's going to push you. He's one of the hardest guys to play for, but he's going to take care of you. So, we've had 3 freshmen. We only took 3 kids from that part of the country. We took 3 freshmen from New Jersey, and all 3 have started for us. So Lovett, Harrison Hand, and Rob Solon. So we just kind of knew those guys. We really couldn't get them at Temple, but we knew we hoped we could get them here. And I went up there and I begged Lovett to come. So I said, come down here. You can be I think you can be a great back for us. And I think the biggest thing is the reason why I feel so good about John Lovett, just like I do about a lot of our other kids, is he runs for a touchdown and then he runs down the next kickoff and tries to make the tackle. And that's when you got guys like that, you can be a really good team.
Now, how did you convince the Brewers to trust you without meeting you?
You'd have to ask them, I guess. I mean, we tried to be open and honest. I think there was a part of Charlie that wanted to, he wanted to play in the Big 12. And, I think he comes from a great family. And we just talked to him, we're honest. And I think he recognized at the time there was, one scholarship quarterback. So it's a pretty good opportunity, in terms of depth. It's right, so. But that's probably more story for that they would know. At that time, a lot of that's a blur. Like Trayvon Lewis, Trayvon committed to us. And he committed to a sight unseen. There was a lot of kids that just kind of leapt based upon faith, and we appreciate that.
Coach, is there a chance that Lynch might get some snaps on offense?
I don't know. I think we're kind of banged up in the secondary. We would love it if Blake could play on the offensive side, but I just don't know if he's been a little bit banged up and he's playing so much on defense. I'm just not sure that would happen. We'd like it to, but I just don't know if he can handle it physically.
The stretches you've had, or the defense has given up the last couple of weeks, whether it was Oklahoma State, second quarter, West Virginia, that last play, and then is that depth issue? Is that defense getting tired? What do you think that it is? Just giving up big plays?
Just giving up big plays. I mean, it's because you can point to this, that, but at the end of the day, it's even in that last drive before the half, they ran the ball a couple times, so I don't want to. I don't want to say it's just this one thing, It's just first play of the second half is a missed tackle. It should be tackled for an 8-yard gain. It's missed. So be it. Move on. Keep playing. They drop a great fade in the second drive. Over, and we're just inches away from getting it. So I would not want to take anything away from West Virginia that they executed really well in those situations, and we just kind of didn't. And I think in the fourth quarter, though, you saw us sort of say, okay, let's, so we're getting better, but it's we need to do it now.
Did you say that you gave a lot of credit on recruiting to Brewer, to Bell, Sean Bell?
Yeah, I think when we first got here, Sean was on the road for us. David Wetzel was on the road for us. Eventually, Joey got on the road for us, and then the guys that had come with me. So, I think talk about guys that know Baylor. Sean Bell and David Wetzel are able to go out and they know Baylor, so they were able to go out there and talk to people. And then I think when Joey McGuire because at the time a lot of people saying, "Can I send my son to Baylor?" With everything that was happening. When I think Joey McGuire, his name carries, people know that he's not going to take his career somewhere that's not a good place. And then when his son decided, Joey came here, and his son decided that he was going to come here, because Joey's son is a quarterback on our team. When he decided that they were going to send, and he and Debbie decided they were going to send Garrett here, I think that spoke volumes to a lot of people that, hey, this is a good place. We're leaving a great thing at Cedar Hill, and we're coming to Baylor, and our son's coming to Baylor. And so I think it's one thing when we say, hey, this is a good place. It's another thing when your actions back that up. And so I think the value of those 3 guys was I could never put it into words what they did for us recruiting wise.
Anything else?
If I can say one thing, we had Coach Taft come in and talk to the team before the season, and I know that they're going to honor him, silver anniversary of his last game in 1992, 21-20 over Texas. It's just always an honor to be on the field with Coach Taft and that team. So I want to make sure I say that and thank them, and then thank everyone that's going to come out to the game. Bring your hot chocolate; it'll hopefully be cold.